In advanced economies where the educational system is highly effective, graduates from tertiary education institutions are inventors, innovators, and thinkers who provide economic and scientific solutions to problems facing their countries. Even if they're not fully employed at any specific organization, they are still engaged in research and development that often lead to new discoveries. Every year, startups, growing companies, and conglomerates compete to employ sharp minds in eagerness for the next big thing. The expectant corporations do not lose too much sleep when it comes to young talent, because graduates tend to come almost ready-made because of the educational system that has sharpened their skills and adequately prepared them for life outside the classroom, where they are expected to practice what they have learned in schools. But in Nigeria, things are not quite the same. Our streets are flooded with graduates looking for jobs. Our tertiary institutions continue to churn out thousands of graduates like clockwork every year, further crowding the already saturated labor market. Amidst the persistent clicking of cameras and clinking of champagne glasses on graduation day are the proud smiles of parents as they watch the youthful eyes of their children full of hope for the future. How are they to know that for many of those hopeful eyes, 10 years may pass as they search for employment with frantic efforts that include daily visits to the newspaper stands? With Nigeria being a developing country with Africa's highest GDP, this should be a land littered with job opportunities. So why are Nigerian graduates unemployable? Experts say our educational system is a key contributor to this issue. The problem is deeply rooted in a tertiary education curriculum which is more theoretical than practical and structured in a way that it creates graduates who need jobs after graduation rather than who have the ability to create jobs. The Tertiary Education Trust Fund is concerned with this development and has set in motion an intervention focused on the review of Nigeria's higher learning curriculum, which, if properly updated, will provide the nation a workforce of gifted graduates who will convert the national economy from being consumer-driven to producer-driven. These are the chronicles of the journey to institutionalize research and development in Nigeria. Hello, and welcome to this edition of TETFund, The Paradigm Shift. I am Stanley Bentu. One of the happiest days of my life was the day that I graduated from university after several years of hard work and toil. I was so excited to begin the practical application of my chosen career. But I was in for a rude shock. Almost everything that I'd learned in school was obsolete, and my industry had migrated to a digital culture. I had to learn an updated version of my discipline all over again. Now, this is the experience for many graduates even today. Employers keep complaining about a skills mismatch in the employment market. Some graduates come out lacking the technical and soft skills to fit in the workplace. The Director General, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, that is SMEDAN, Dr. Umaru Rada, said that right about only 1 of every 100 Nigerian graduates were employable. And he attributed the situation to poor skills and lack of entrepreneurial competence. The population of young people between the ages of 15 to 24 around the world is rapidly increasing, and the vast majority of them live in poor and emerging economies. Now, this should be a good thing since industrial productivity requires constant, innovative thinkers and intensive labor. So, having a young population should be a strategic advantage, right? But one of the major causes of unemployment is the dearth of skilled personnel and entrepreneurial competence. Now, this is in addition to inadequate capacity of vocational skill centers that are aligned to industrial requirements. The Executive Secretary of TETFund, architect Sonny Echono, is passionately concerned about this development and has declared that he would tackle it as the boss of the intervention agency. Let's have a look.
We are also going to be focusing on curriculum delivery in our schools. Because the challenge we face today, and I had the opportunity of espousing some of these a few days ago, the gentleman was there with me. We have to make our graduates more relevant by making them not just employable, but creators of wealth. The time when scarce resources are expended to provide graduates who sit at home for 5-10 years, and they tell you they are looking for government employment. And employers of labor in industry are telling you that your graduates are not employable. That for us to take them in, we still have to mount management trainee programs, pupil programs, the oil and gas sector, taking people to the Netherlands to go and learn welding before you can now bring them back into the country. We must create the symbiosis between industry and the academia to ensure that there will be this seamless production of manpower to service our national economy.
So the Chief Executive Officer of TETFund has made very clear what he intends to achieve as far as curriculum review is concerned. But in order to take action, it is crucial to state the problem and to understand why many Nigerian graduates are having a rough time in the labor market. This next report delves deep into the issue. Stay with us. The 2018 Graduate Skills Ranking by the World Economic Forum placed Nigeria 135th out of 140 countries. This reveals that a great number of Nigerian graduates don't have the requisite skills, experience, and knowledge for the dream job that they crave. Even worse is the fact that most of them are not professionally aware of the sector they seek to work in. In Nigeria, as of 2019, there are 134 recognized polytechnics and 174 universities, including federal, state, and privately owned. They all admit about 2 million and release roughly 600,000 graduates each year. In 2014, it was recorded that about 520,000 unemployed Nigerian graduates stormed different recruitment centers to apply for 4,000 advertised vacant positions in the Nigerian Immigration Service. By implication, it was about 130 unemployed graduates against each of the 4,000 vacant positions. On the day of the aptitude tests, about 16 graduates died from a stampede as a result of the crowd at the venues. Why are Nigerian graduates unemployable? Let's look at a few reasons. In Nigeria, studies show that the high rate of unemployment experienced by university graduates is not only as a result of unavailability of jobs, but also because of a dearth of candidates with employable skills that employers are looking for. It is argued that employability is much more than the acquisition of skills or getting a job. It is about developing graduates as critical, empowered learners. According to Schroeder and Kotze, employability refers to an individual's capacity and willingness to become and remain attractive in the labor market. Also, the individual's capacity to be successful in a wide range of jobs. The Nigerian educational system is not organized to fully accommodate entrepreneurship in its curriculum. Sadly, a lot of students read just to pass their examinations and come out with a high CGPA. They are not equipped practically or exposed to real-life situations. Therefore, upon graduation, they become confused as to how to handle life and make the most of it, even with the good results that they may have worked so hard for. The quality of education offered to students is not tailored to tackle the current need of society. We are in an innovative era where people use their brains more than their hands. But the training in our classrooms still focuses on the theoretical. It is time to ensure that what is taught in schools are always relevant to the current world situation. The lecturers in the Nigerian tertiary institutions need to undergo periodical training to refresh knowledge in their areas of expertise. If knowledge is allowed to become obsolete, lecturers will only impact the students based on what they know. This knowledge may not be marketable enough to adequately equip students after graduation. Skills, curriculum, and academic staff training are all areas that are within the purview of TETFund, according to its enabling law. Architect Echono is braced to energetically delve into tackling these challenges with a unique blend of established and fresh initiatives.
And Nigeria actually is in a position to play a key role in the knowledge economy by even exporting, because that is what we have comparative advantage for.
Sure.
As long as we meet our national demands, we can also produce excess for our sub-region and indeed compete on the global stage. So the focus on ICT and all the transformative technologies that we require to improve curriculum delivery in our systems, in our schools, with a renewed focus on the human component of our infrastructure. As we said, and again I play in that field, we've done so well in physical infrastructure, and we will continue to do so. But we also must focus on those we've entrusted with the preparation of our students for future challenges.
Of course.
We must focus on the type of curriculum that is being taught and the delivery systems for it. When COVID-19 struck, it took us by surprise. But we are glad that we were able to adjust. Some of the changes that were introduced, like online teaching and learning, open learning resources, and the digital economy that relays around it, are going to be with us for the foreseeable future. And we must be ready and able to adapt in a nimble manner to ensure that we remain competitive on the global stage. TETFund will lead that drive.
That's very good.
I want to assure the members of staff that have been a member of this team for the past 4 years. We have a lot of work to do. Only recently I was privileged again to be part of the 10th year anniversary celebrations, where we took stock about what has been accomplished so far. We shall take it a notch higher by initiating some consultations with our critical stakeholders, vice chancellors of universities, rectors of our polytechnic, provosts of our colleges of education, as well as the staff unions, ASU, COESU, NASU, NAT, and SANU,
That's very good.
that operate in our tertiary institutions.
To understand the importance of curriculum in education, it is best that we first address what a curriculum is. Now, the textbook definition of the term suggests that curriculum often refers to a planned sequence of instruction. When you look at it this way, education depends on curriculum. It gives direction and structure to learning. Hence, there can be no education without curriculum, because this framework shapes the way that a subject or topic or theme or concept is taught. Now, what is the importance of curriculum to education? And what is the importance of a map to an explorer? What is the importance of a goalpost to a footballer? A proper curriculum is the map to the course. It lays out the direction and the endpoint of the class. A proper curriculum gives you pacing and states the requirements for reaching your target. A carefully designed and well-executed curriculum plays a significant role in the success of a school and its students and teachers. Strong curricular design, when delivered by well-prepared and qualified educators, ensures that students can achieve the appropriate learning outcomes. When teachers understand the benefits of effective curricula, they carry that expertise into their own planning and design. By doing so, teachers can create learning environments optimized for student success and growth. Carefully chosen curricula reflect the culture and priorities of communities, states, and countries that surround them. Well-designed curricula can help students embrace their cultural identity and refine their personal values and become strong global citizens. The Executive Secretary of TETFund has announced that the agency's interventions will be targeted at curriculum review to create more employable and productive graduates for Nigeria's knowledge economy. This is in line with the content component of the paradigm shift. But what can a good curriculum do? National culture in which a tertiary institution operates. Different countries have different expectations of their students, even if teaching practices are similar. Nigeria must define what it expects from its graduates according to the country's socio-economic and industrial needs. Improved curricula can reflect and define the culture and the specific needs of the neighborhoods, communities, states, and federal entities that they serve. A good curriculum is never a one-and-done initiative. Revisiting it regularly allows you to not only review how things are going, but also to make room for new topics that are relevant today. In fact, the World Economic Forum touts curriculum as a key player in helping educators keep up with the speed of changing trends and technology and skills that students will need in the future. Consistency happens when students can expect to walk away with the same set of skills, whether their teacher is a veteran in the profession or just learning the ropes. Consistency should also stretch across a district, state, geopolitical zone, or country as well. A student in final year of an institution should expect to graduate with the same foundational knowledge and skills no matter where they learn. Having regular discussions about curriculum creates opportunities to get all stakeholders involved. Lecturers, administration, regulators, academic unions, policymakers, lawmakers, parents, and communities. Getting input from everyone will help identify where you are strong and what gaps you need to address. It also gives academics a platform over which they can share best practices, knowledge, and resources with each other. Textbooks aren't cheap, but they're commonplace because they're convenient. They provide a built-in progression of knowledge that cannot be ignored. With a strong curriculum in place, schools can break away from an over-reliance on foreign or obsolete textbooks and take a more active and dynamic role in choosing better updated texts. A good curriculum also connects the faculty from across different institutions, levels, and subject areas to look at the big picture of student learning. Lecturers can work together to plan a progression of topics that build off of the ones that came before and connect across disciplines. The result? You reinforce knowledge over time and make sure that students are prepared for what is coming next. Data matters. If you aren't setting specific goals around how your students are learning, how will you determine whether your curriculum is successful? That's why a good curriculum sets measurable outcomes and tracks progress throughout the year. Lecturers get a better view of what is happening in the classrooms. Students know where they stand, and parents are kept up to date. Well, today there is a yawning gap between the curriculum of Nigerian tertiary education system and the roles that its graduates are expected to play in society. It has therefore become imperative to rethink our curriculum and improve how the system functions. The new curriculum should aim at making Nigerian graduates enterprise-ready for employment and self-reliance. Nigerian tertiary education aims to relate the activities of the academia to the social and economic needs of the day-to-day life of the people of this country, thereby providing the requirements of industry, commerce, and society. And that is the paradigm shift. Join us again on the next edition of the program, and until then, thank you for stopping by. Good night.